Good afternoon, everyone. And we're very much happy that you are here with us. I am Jim Toscano. I'm one of the co-founders and the chief program officer of Tagpros Education. And I welcome you to Advancing Better Online Distance Learning webinar workshop series on effective strategies and approaches in online distance learning. So as you may have known, this is an event that Tagpros has designed for every Filipino teacher so that we could help everyone in advancing or upscaling their skills in terms of teaching and designing learning experiences online. This event is made possible through our partners. We start with Globe Telecom, the largest telecommunication company in the Philippines, who is here with us, supporting us, and a little bit later they will have a surprise for all active participants of this event. Together with Globe is the Department of Education International Cooperation Office under the leadership of Director Margarita Consolacion Ballesteros. And they are with us as they support our goal of helping elevating the teaching profession through advancing every teacher's skill in teaching online. Of course, we have Teacher Education Network, a community of teachers who advance the use of technology tools and the use of 21st century focused pedagogical approaches in education. TEN, or Teacher Education Network, is managed by my friend, a principal and school leader also, Gino Lawayan. Of course, we have Next Series. Next Series is an advocacy project. It's a group of computer education teachers in Xavier School San Juan who also share in the common goal of elevating the teaching profession. Especially right now, we're doing online distance learning through giving free workshops to all teachers. So thank you to our partners. Without their support, we will not be able to reach a bigger network of teachers, to reach every teacher in the country. So first off, I'd like to thank everyone here today for coming to the first installation. This is our first part of the four-part series, or the four-part series of online workshop for our teachers. Overall, this webinar workshop sessions aims to help teachers and educators in acquiring new strategies and approaches that you, teachers, can use in teaching your subjects. So for every Saturday of June, we will have two Tagpros Pioneers. Tagpros Pioneers are our partners in advancing online teaching here at Tagpros. These are nationally or internationally recognized teachers who have honed their skills in teaching their subject through the use of technology tools, whether it's face-to-face or whether it's online. So for this part, we will touch with our creative sides, as our speakers, Mr. John Paul Viernes and Mr. Luis Pelea, will discuss creative expression, social emotional learning, and even music. But before we get ahead, I'd like to welcome Tagpros Education's Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Joe Garde, for the opening remarks. Let's give him a round of applause as we listen to his message.
Joe Garde, and I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer of Tagpros Education. And I would like to welcome everyone to the Tagpros Teacher Webinar Series. The pandemic has a profound and lasting effect on the education system, and most significantly, among the younger K-12 student population. Ready or not, schools, teachers, parents, and students had to shift to distance learning as the country moved to a drastic and prolonged lockdown, which continued to alter our lives until today. Distance learning has been an enormous challenge, from connectivity issues, limited digital materials for children, stressed parents and students dealing with multiple distractions, limited social interactions, and Zoom fatigue. The choice was to adapt or fall behind. We saw this as an opportunity to apply digital technology to make distance learning more convenient, engaging, and fun for both teachers and students. This is why we created Tagpros, a passion-based digital after-school learning community for K-12 teachers and students. Our idea is simple: to create an innovative digital learning community where teachers are empowered to monetize their passions, where students are encouraged to explore their interests, where parents are assured of a safe and curated digital platform, all in a convenient and efficient ecosystem wherein one can simply search, click, and learn. We're all very thrilled to welcome you, ardent teachers, to your continuing learning journey into the new and exciting world of digital distance learning with Tagpros, where passion takes the lead. Maraming salamat po.
Joe, as I've of Tagpros, and he is one of the people behind this activity or this event for the whole month of June. And together with Tagpros is the Department of Education International Cooperation Office. So as an individual, as a teacher, I've worked with Director Margarita Consolacion Ballesteros and her office, and we have created a lot of projects in pursuing our goal of helping teachers respond to the needs of online distance learning. And Director Margarita Consolacion Ballesteros sent a message to every one of us as she welcomes us to this event. So let's listen to her message to us.
Welcome to another space, another avenue where you get to learn and you get to meet not only experts but also friends who are in the same boat or in the same vessel as we weather the same storms in life during this time of the pandemic. Weathering the storms in the same vessel, I mean, we are all faced with the challenges brought about by this COVID-19. But as teachers, we are stronger, you are stronger, and you have shown that even after a year, you did your best. And I congratulate you for that. And I also thank you for doing your best and giving your best in whatever circumstances you were for the past year and where you are now this year. The webinars that you will be involved in and you will be embarking on will only be part and parcel of your retooling exercises, but they are meant to help you develop into a better teacher. In as much as we say we don't have enough and we can't have enough, but I would say you have more than enough because we have people, we have the resources that have been provided and are being provided still at this point in time. So as teachers, we encourage you to give your best as you get to be retooled, you get to be honed, and you get to develop more of your skills. You always have to bear in mind that the currency of this century and beyond, where the alpha generation is now, is actually your competency. When we say you are competent to deliver online learning, you are competent to navigate with technology, that only means that you don't like to be left behind. Who would like to be left behind? Of course, there's none. Learning is lifelong. And when we say lifelong learning goes on and on until we say it's my last breath, then you would say, yes, I did my best. So keep learning, guys, and I would encourage you to really keep going. Not COVID-19, not any disruption can stop a teacher who's got a heart, a teacher who is passionate in doing a number of things, making sure that the learning environment the learning spaces of this future generation, our next leaders are prepared and are well equipped. So to Jim Toscano and to his team, thank you for partnering with the Department of Education's International Cooperation Office in hosting and in developing programs for our teachers through these webinars. And I'd like to thank you because you're offering this for free. And also to our teachers, keep going, for life is beautiful and is made more beautiful each day, because each day we receive the gift of life, and that gift of life is meant to be shared for you and for me, to be shared to our teachers, co-teachers, our colleagues, to our learners who we are helping to become better citizens, better global citizens, as well as to our parents who are the supporters of the education of these children. So to all of you, again, good luck and keep learning.
Thank you, Director Margarita Consolacion Ballesteros. So it really is very, very important to have a very good network in the education, and we are very happy that the Department of Education, the International Cooperation Office specifically, is a proud partner of Tagpros Education. So you might have been asking, what is Tagpros? So before I continue, before we go with our session, just to say, Tag is, if you've watched the videos a while ago, Tagpros Education is an EdTech startup company. It was founded last year, and together as one company, I and my fellow co-founders and everyone at Tagpros, our vision is to really spark curiosity. Later on, we will be announcing the different projects that we have under Tagpros for Children, and also an opportunity for our dear teachers under our company, also Tagpros Education. Tagpros Education is an education marketplace where we invite teachers to create their own courses, to create their own series of maybe online workshops that are dedicated for K to 12 students. And of course, we look forward for your participation in the different professional development opportunities that we're giving for our teachers, especially our Filipino teachers. Now, I'm looking at the comments that we have right now, and thank you to our tech team who's showing us your greetings. So we have a lot of teachers coming in from Northern Luzon, from La Union. I'm an Ilocano, so I was born and raised in Abra, so I say hi. So nimbag nga aldaw yu amin nga fellow Ilocano. So thank you so much for being here. There are people coming in, teachers coming in from Tuguegarao, Davao, Cavite, Visayas, Rojas City. Wow, we're overwhelmed. Thank you so much for joining us today. Palawan, of course, from Metro Manila, thank you. And we hope that you are taking this time. It's a Saturday afternoon, so chill lang tayo. What you need to do is just simply watch and send us your comments. This is a very chill professional development activity for everyone. Now, the next part is for me to explain to you the surprise of Globe Telecom. So Globe Telecom is actually a big partner for this event for the whole June. And let me explain how you will be able to win GCash worth of 500 pesos. So let me just ask my tech team, could you put up the screen on our screen, the instruction as I go through them? So I'm happy to share with you that GCash is here with us to give away 500 pesos to 7 lucky participants. So in every Saturday, we will have 7 or 8 lucky participants. All you have to do is, number 1, watch the webinar workshop, complete the evaluation form at the end of each session, and follow our social media pages. So that's very, very simple. Watch and participate. Do the evaluation at the end of each session. So I know teachers, I've done a lot of webinar workshops in different organizations and you always ask, where is the evaluation? Hindi pa tayo nagsisimula, gusto niyo na mag-evaluate. Let's not do that. Let's finish the whole event and then let's evaluate at the end of this session. And then later on, of course, follow our social media pages and Facebook, on LinkedIn, and even on YouTube. All right. Just a disclaimer also, for you to win the Gcash load, of course, you should have a Gcash account. You should be a Gcash account holder, and of course, so that you can receive the load. So make sure that you download the Gcash app available at Google Play or Apple Store and create your Gcash account now, because we will be sending to your Gcash account the 500 pesos that you will be winning, part of the 7 lucky participants. All right. So could we show that again? The instruction before we proceed to the next part. We don't want our participants to be missing it. I'm gonna give you already a hint for today and next week, 7 winners, and then the third and fourth part there will be 8 winners of 500 pesos Gcash. So make sure that you watch everything, complete the evaluation at the end of each session, and then follow our social media pages. We will be announcing the winners 1 week after. So before we start our session, the second part next week, we will be posting the winners. But the sending of Gcash will follow after 1 week after the last part. So you will already be alerted if you will be winning Gcash load. But those we will be communicating how you will be receiving them after the whole event. So let me see if you're excited. Can we see in the comments how you feel like right now? There's a question: do we need to give our Gcash number? Of course, because we will not know how to send, right? So make sure that the number that you will be sending us in the evaluation form is your Gcash account number. All right, so that should be very, very clear. All right. So I think we're ready. I think we're ready to start. Just one reminder, don't forget to follow Tagpros Education's official social media pages. You see them on the moving banner below the screen, so make sure that you follow us there. All right, so now I hope you guys are excited as I welcome our first speaker. Our first speaker is an EdTech leader and currently the education program or one of the education program supervisors at the Department of Education in Laoag City. He is passionate about integrating real-life projects to help students learn better using technology tools. He was also the EdTech Coach of the Year in EdTech Asia in 2017. He is a very known EdTech leader, a speaker and trainer. I'm pretty sure you've heard of him in the different workshops that you have watched online. Today, however, he is with us to discuss amplifying cross-curricular projects through creative expression and social emotional learning. So let's give it up for Mr. John Paul Viernes.
Oh, happy Saturday, everyone. Before I'll start, I'd like to thank you all for attending into my session, and of course to Tagpros Philippines for inviting me as one of the speakers for this webinar workshop on effective strategies and approaches in online distance learning. I know we're all excited, as I am excited for this PD session in advancing online distance learning. By the way, let me introduce myself. I am Mr. John Paul Viernes. I am an education program supervisor in one of the schools division here in the Philippines. I'm also an EdTech leader, a Microsoft innovative educator expert, and a master trainer. I'm also certified learning facilitator of the National Educators Academy of the Philippines. And in 2017, I won as EdTech Coach of the Year during the EdTech Asia held in Singapore. Okay, so the title of my session today is Amplifying Cross-Curricular Projects Through Creative Expression and Social Emotional Learning. And of course, through this session, we will be guiding you on using creative expression as a means to foster the core competencies of the social emotional learning, or we called it SEL. Through this session, we will also help you to implement different cross-curricular projects using educational tools and resources, which in this case, we will be featuring the Bunsey platform. Okay, so let's start. Now, the coronavirus pandemic has produced a variety of critical challenges for all of us. And this is actually most especially for our learners. And I know all of us here have experienced firsthand the impact of pandemic to our learners, which shows which shows how they underwhelmed and uncertain about this new normal and what to do for their academics and different activities, which actually includes social and emotional learning. Because whether we like it or not, it's something that we sometimes neglect, even before pandemic. Well, some students may not have opportunities to engage in this type of social and emotional checkpoints as we transition into uncertain learning environment. We educators, I believe, can actually mitigate the potential negative effects of social distancing by employing evidence-based strategies for social and emotional learning. Now, this time, we should amplify the social emotional learning, or we call it SEL. SEL is defined by Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, or CASEL, as the process through which children and adults understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Promoting social and emotional development for all students in classroom involves teaching and modeling social and emotional skills. We provide them the opportunities to practice and hone those skills, and giving students an opportunity to apply this in various situations. Now, the SEL can, or the social emotional learning, can increase students' long-term well-being. Looking at this infographics, studies have shown that SEL can improve students' academic performance, behavioral growth, long-term success, which in the long run have positive life outcomes. SEL can be integrated across subject areas at all ages. Well, in fact, it's certainly just as pertinent or important to us adults as to the children. For our children, as early as now, we should be teaching them about social emotional learning. But as an adult, it's something that we must be very competent about it. SEL can be a curricular innovation because it can also be an approach in many ways. You can do curricular innovation just like what I've mentioned. These approaches include you can do a standalone SEL lesson or instructional practices, classroom practices, and integrated within the academic curriculum. Just a short, just a heads up. As we go through the latter part of the discussion or the presentation, we will be showing you on how to integrate cell into your lesson, wherein we target all the core competencies of the cell. Okay. Now, the effect of social and emotional learning involves coordinated classroom, a school-wide family and community practices that help students develop the core competencies of the social emotional learning. Now, let's proceed to these competencies. Let's go to the first one, which is the self-awareness. Self-awareness enables an individual to recognize their own emotional state and understand how it can influence behavior. It's also the ability to know your strengths and weaknesses and to view them with a growth mindset. Self-awareness skills include, says here, identifying emotions, accurate self-perception, recognizing strengths, self-confidence, and self-efficacy. Self-awareness gives students a better chance to succeed in school, life, and further future work. Students need to know what their emotional state is and how it affects those around them in order to self-regulate their emotion. Of course, as teachers, remember that we're all human. We won't always be our best selves in every moment of the day. Embracing that reality help us authentically engage with students, check our biases, question our own motivation, and pause to take stocks on our decision. As teacher, we need to know how to express ourselves in appropriate ways so that we can actually model this to our learners. Now, the second competency is self-management. Self-management as the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behavior. This includes effectively controlling impulses, self-motivation, and planning towards personal and academic growth, which I believe dapat ilagay din natin yung stress management. It helps students to stay on task and work towards a goal, even when feeling frustrated, and it's highly sought after skill in employees because these are the soft skills that we need our learners to actually develop because ito yung mga kailangan natin ngayon in the field, whatever their decision, kung ano man yung kanilang ipopursue as their career. A great example is since we want our students to manage themselves after the class has completed, it is perfect time to take out those journals for reflection on the goals of the day and then to reflect on his or her learning. For example, what was challenging today? What worked in your studies today and what was more difficult? So these are the checkpoints that we can actually give to our learners, boosting yung kanilang self-management. How did you process the answer to a problem? And this reflection on learning will actually encourage our students to make adjustments to his or her own habits. So that is self-management. Let's go to the third competency, which is the social awareness. Now, socially aware individuals can understand others' perspective and empathize with them, including those from diverse backgrounds. Social awareness initiatives should focus on, says here, perspective taking, empathy, appreciating diversity, and respect for others. For example, as a teacher, you can cultivate students' empathy by encouraging them to put themselves in the shoes of the people of on opposing sides of idea to help them understand both how they came to their views in the first place and why certain decisions were actually made. Through this, we can actually champion respect and understanding. Now, let's go to the fourth competency of the core competencies of CEL is the relationship skills. Within and beyond classroom walls, relationship skills are critical to student success and well-being. We should agree to that. Relationship skills are defined as the ability to establish and maintain healthy relationships, cooperate with others, communicate clearly and listen well, resist social pressure, negotiate conflict, and seek or offer help as needed. Implementing lessons and practices around these abilities should actually focus, says here, communication, social engagement, relationship building, teamwork, and teamwork. Now, for example, into your class, to encourage teamwork in a group activity at the beginning of a school year, as a teacher, you should already establish positive communication skills such as listening, conflict resolution, and cooperation amongst your learners or to your students. So these are the core competencies of CEL. We have self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship skill. As we go through with the discussion, we will be targeting all these core competencies of CEL as we craft our cross-curricular activities to our learners. Now, let's proceed to the next, creative expression. Ayun. Children learn, develop critical skills, and have fun when provided the opportunity to be creative and to express themselves in artistic way. Like we have painting, coloring, writing, through music, and making crafts. These are all examples of creative activities. Now, creative expression helps children articulate their feelings and thoughts. Creative expression is actually bringing something new into the existence from one's own imagination. Kasi nga nagiging konkreto siya. At saka, just like what I've mentioned, children love to express their selves. And of course, that is through creative outputs or creative works. It's a way for students to tap into some critical facets of the CEL. We can actually formulate innovative projects, ideas for our learners that each instill the CEL competencies in the mind of our learners, while allowing them to express themselves creatively. Of course, since we are dealing with the 21st century learners, this is through the use of technology tools and resources. Now, speaking of technology tools and resources, we will be, just like what I've mentioned, we will be featuring Bunsy, which is a great platform to, of course, facilitate creativity to our learners. How they're going to create or express their ideas using creative outputs. They can actually do this in the Bunsy platform because Bunsy offers a wide variety of ways to incorporate creative expressions and CEL skills in your class. In your most especially now that we are having distance learning through your online class. Since this is an online platform, Bunsy is a multimedia creation tool for students, and not only for students, this is also good for educators, administrators, and family to actually make creative and interactive content, allowing them allowing those of all ages to visualize concepts and communicate creatively. Now, Bunsy comes with thousands of animations, stickers, emotion-based graphics, or we call it emojis, built-in audio, video recording capabilities, and more, allowing students, not only students, educators, and families to express themselves and demonstrate their learning. What I love about Bonsi is that it allows learners to do creative ways to demonstrate their learning. And I'm pretty sure hindi lang ako yung may love ng ganitong idea. You will also love this idea if you're going to explore the features of this platform. Okay, this tool can actually be utilized by learners, just like what I mentioned, pati mga teachers, to present information and really fun and engaging ways for students and teachers. Now, this time, we will go to the platform, the Bonsi platform. I will just show you my screen. Okay, po. Okay, so there you go. So I have here, this is the user interface of the Bonsi platform. So in order to access this, you go to this website. It's app.edu.bonsi.com. And of course, you need to sign up. Or if you have an account already, kasi nga for sure may mga teachers na tayo dito who have already an account and utilizing Bonsi platform and integrating it to the teaching and learning process. Okay, so I'll just click sign up here. Okay, so once you have clicked sign up, you will be directed to this page where you're going to be asked if you will subscribe to the free account or to the premium account. Now, my suggestion, you can just go directly muna sa ating free account, and once that you will love the feature of this platform, might as well you can go ahead and subscribe for a premium or a classroom, or if we have school administrators who are actually attending into our live session, you can actually explore the features of this platform, which is really good. Okay, so anyways, all of the information, which are the features which we'll be getting if you are holding a free premium classroom and our district or school account, are actually posted in this page. Just like what I mentioned, we'll just go ahead and explore muna yung free account niya. Okay, so let's go to the free account by clicking on get started for free. Alam niyo man tayo mga Filipino, mahilig tayo sa mga free accounts. Okay. And then, of course, you'll be given the option to sign up with an email or using your Google account or your Gmail account, your Microsoft, your Outlook, or your Hotmail, or using your Apple account. So I'll be using my Google account. So I have here my DepEd email address, since Google po siya, Gmail po siya. I'll be using that. Okay. And then once you're done, you are now logged into your Bonsi account. Medyo mahina lang yung internet natin. Okay, so let's wait for the response of this. Ang hina ng ating internet, but okay, so there you go. We are now logged into our Bonsi account. So if you noticed, meron na po akong nalagay dito na mga materials ko, because I've explored this using yung ating DepEd email address. But for the other account on my Outlook, I have different materials in there as well. Okay, so in here, all your resources are actually filtered into My Bunsies, Share with Me's, and Resources. So wala pang nakashare. So it's really organized in here. And then, of course, you also have in here classes, which you can actually organize or create your own class. And of course, pwede kang mag-create dito ng mga materials and the resources that your learners have actually developed. So we don't have we don't have a class in here. This one board as well, and then we also have an integrated. What I love about the Bonsi is that it's a one-stop platform. So integrated na po dito yung ating Microsoft Teams, which is really good because this is now will serve as your learning management system for your class because meron na yung sa Teams, meron na tayong video conferencing, chats as well, group chats, and of course they can also pass their assignments and other features of Microsoft Teams, which is actually integrated sa ating Bunsi, which is really good po kasi nga hindi na pupunta yung estudyante nyo sa other window just to access yung inyong Microsoft Teams. Now, question, pwede po bang ilagay yung yung Google Class dito? Siguro the link. But if you're asking me if pwedeng integrate siya sa mga feature, wala po. Only Microsoft lang po siya. Okay, so there you go. So this time, we will create our own material, or we will develop our material from scratch. So in here, pwede tayong gumawa ng mga materials using yung mga templates. Actually, meron siyang mga templates categorized into if you are looking at the screen, categorized into back to school, birthday greetings, bookmarks, brochure, business cards, at madami pang mga categories na nakalagay po dito. So may mga template na po siya. It's actually filled with different templates, which is pwede natin siyang i-import or i-copy and i-enhance. So, ayun. But this time, we will create from scratch for us to demonstrate on how to create an output using yung ating Bunsi platform. If you look at it, para lang siyang Microsoft PowerPoint platform or PowerPoint presentation. But if you look at it, sa mga features niya later on, mas advanced at mas interactive po yung ating Bunsi. Okay, so in here, on the workspace, pwede ka nang mag-import ng templates, import background, or you can just add items such as videos, animated images, or others. Okay, so this time we will just go on and click on the things that we wanted to import. Like this one, text yung ilalagay natin. Click natin yung text. Okay, so double click. We'll just double click it, and let's put a title. I'll be naming it as My Journal. Okay. You can actually format it. You can actually format it like if you wanted to the font to be a lot bigger, you can just highlight it, and of course the formatting pane will just pop out. Okay, so that's it. That's My Journal. And then to add, you just go to the right corner of the editor. Meron siyang plus. Yung nakita nyo kanina, meron siyang plus. And then, ilalagay ko is siguro mga Bunsi animation or animated because our learners love animation. So, ilalagay ko it's pen because journal. So, ilalagay ko its animation ng ating pen. So, madami siyang mga contents which you can actually explore. Okay, so saan ba? This one. Ito na lang yung pipiliin ko. This one. You just click on add and automatic. You can do or you can actually resize the image just like that. Okay. And then you can also add other items. Again, just go to the right corner of your work page. I wanted to add videos for it. Lagay ko nga, let me just check kung nare-recognize niya yung ating YouTube channel, which is the Viernes Pelea. Okay, hindi niya nare-recognize yung ating Viernes Pelea. Or I'll just put on happy song. So ayun, lalabas yung mga suggested videos for your happy song. So pipili ka na lang dyan kung anong ilalagay mo. So you see, it's a one-stop shop. You don't need to go to other windows to search for your YouTube account or YouTube videos. And then ilalagay, kukunin pa yung URL or the HTML code of it. You paste that. No, because in Bansi, it's a one-stop shop or one-stop platform. Andito na rin yung ating YouTube platform. And what's good in here is that it's actually filtered with educational contents only. So ayun, wala akong nakita na videos on YouTube channel. Siguro we'll just explore other one. I'm actually good to that. Lagay ko na lang natin siguro yung pangalan. So double click to enter your text. So I'll just encode my name in here. Again, paano tayo mag-format? You just highlight it and automatic the formatting pane will just pop out. Ayun. Okay, so this time I'll just go ahead and change my background siguro. Okay, so you have the option to choose for the backgrounds which Bansi will suggest, or you can also upload your own background. Okay, so gusto naman solid color, that's fine. Or you can just shift to recommended source of your background. Pwede siguro art na lang ilalagay ko. Sige, yan, art. And pipili tayo dito, madami. If you look at it, madaming mga contents po siya. And these are all free. Parang gusto ko ito. Ayan. So click lang natin and then you have the option to add this into a specific page or pwede siyang all pages. See? Ayun. So okay na siya. So basically ganun lang gumawa ng ating contents sa ating Bansi platform. The time is very limited. Of course, we have a lot of things to discuss. If you wanted to explore yung ating platform, just go ahead to the web address, which is app.edu.bansi.com. Now, question, how do we share? We click on share and you can actually do personalize. Like who can actually view your Bansi output, like everyone with the link, para siyang Google Drive or OneNote then, or OneDrive then, that you can do, or you can actually personalize, who can access your file. So everyone with the link, specific Bansi users or others. Pwede din, you can do, you can set it if it's commentable or pwedeng i-copy ng mga learners or other users. So in here, you can go with the, you can actually share it with link, or you can embed it using iframe or the HTML code. Ayun. So you can actually share it with the specific learners, board share, or you can actually email it to your learners or share this through the social media. Or just download the copy and then give the PDF version to your learners. For those who doesn't have a strong internet connection. Ayun. So, very simple, very user-friendly. It's so easy to explore. Just like what I've said, very limited lang yung ating time today because we still have a lot of things to discuss. So, this is the Bonsi platform, which actually allows your learners, including you, to do creative outputs then. So, ayun. So, that's how we're going to share our outputs. Now, let's go back naman on exploring yung mga templates naman or mga outputs, other outputs that educators, learners have actually developed. You just go to this tab, which is Ideas tab. Okay, in here, you can actually search for a specific topic or you can actually filter it by topic area or learning areas. So if you look at it, meron siyang social emotional learning na topic area. Ang maganda doon. And then, you just go to, ayusin lang natin to. You just go to, learning area, specific learning area or grade level na mga social emotional learning contents. So basically, you can actually filter it by topic. So what I have indicated in here is social emotional learning na mga elementary topic. So like say for instance, this one, track your feelings with a mental health journal. So, pwede siya, meron siyang button for create this, which means you can actually copy this and enhance this. So, okay na okay siya at binigyan tayo ng permission from the developer or from the author. Ayun. So, hintayin lang natin. Here, so, basically, we have just copied yung Bonsi output na mental health journal. So you can now edit this, modify this, enhance this, or you just basically contextualize this. That depends kung ano yung kailangan or ano yung pwede mong ibigay sa inyong mga learners. Like say for instance, you can actually change na yung title niya. Like say for instance, mental health journal, this is for grade 6. And you can just share it just like what I have shown you a while ago. So basically, ganun lang po yung ating Bonsi. Napaka-gandang platform which you can actually explore. If you haven't explored yung ating Bonsi, meron siyang free version. But of course, if you wanted to subscribe to the premium or to the school, make sure na maximize natin yung kanyang feature. So that is Bonsi. Just go to edu.bonsi.com. Okay, so this time let's go to the next presentation, which is the cross-curricular projects. Now, the cross-curricular projects tries to unite more than one content area in lectures, assignments, or even full units of studies. Now, cross-curricular instruction encourages critical thinking, interaction, and reflection. At mas nagkakaroon ng sense yung mga lessons mo para sa mga learners mo. Kasi nga, yung ating curriculum, most especially in the DepEd, ay talagang spiral po siya, and na magkakakonect dapat yung mga activities natin. Now, as the subject matter becomes relevant, students' ability to analyze and synthesize information greatly improves. They're able to generate meaning, compare, draw conclusion, and make a prediction. And what I love about cross-curricular projects ay hindi pagod yung mga learners natin. Kasi nga, uh, they will not be obliged to create individual projects or individual assignments per learning areas. Uh, pero, through cross-curricular projects, they can actually have one output targeting like 5 learning areas or 3 learning areas or lahat-lahat na. All we need to do is just to map and create the best out.
Hello, everyone. I think we're having a connection problem right now. So while the technical team is working on it, let me just let me see if I could bring up Mr. John Paul Viernes. Mr. John Paul Viernes, are you there? Mr. Viernes. Hello, everyone. I think we're having a connection problem. All right. I think Mr. John Paul Viernes is there. Our technical team is actually having some challenges right now. So I would let me wait for the technical team to work on it. So let's just go to the open forum for now. Mr. Viernes, you talked about Bonsi a while ago. And if we look at our comments, they're very much interested. It's something new, right? It's something new. Could you tell us, there's one question here. Does it work offline?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes. I've been tracking as well the comment while actually discussing, And a lot of our participants, actually I asked if it's offline. Ang ating Bunsey platform is actually online platform po. It's an online platform that you can maximize. And what is good about this platform is it integrates Microsoft products such as which I have shown a while ago, the MS Teams, which can be your own personal learning management system for your class. So it's an online platform. Because we're dealing with like embedding links, resources, online resources. Then it's an online platform.
Thank you, Mr. Viernes. Another question. They're really interested and we're happy about this. Oh, by the
Yes.
way, one of the key people in Bunsey, because I've met one of the leaders in Bunsey. She is a Filipino based in New York. So there's a
Wow.
Filipino in Bunsey, and she's one of the top leaders also. I hope we can bring her in our program or in our platform. But
Yes.
JP, one of their question is, how is it different with Canva, or maybe how is it different with PowerPoint?
Basically, first for the PowerPoint presentation, you can do PowerPoint presentation online and offline. So pwede yung PowerPoint presentation so for online and offline. But for Bonsi, online lang siya, but it's more interactive, just like what I've said, integrated with different features in one platform. So that's you difference from the PowerPoint. For the Canva, it's somewhat similar with the Canva because they have same features such as templates, where you can also curate contents and as well as edit and improvise on the ideas, or the contents which other teachers or other educators have created. Well, at the end of the day, we are the pilot in our own classroom. So whichever it is, Canva man yan or Bansi man yan or PowerPoint presentation, palagi natin sinasabi to with Jim, we should be thinking pedagogy first and then choosing the right technology. So what we are just providing is to give you, of course, to champion you this platform, which can be added into your options. Yun pa.
JP's it's very correct. Like, we're talking about technology, online learning, we always focus on the apps, but
Yes.
Mr. Viernes is reminding us a very very important principle. For those who want to use technology, it's pedagogy first before technology. Always make sure that it's 21st century curriculum, lesson, and then that's the time that you really add in technology. Mr. John Paul Viernes, unfortunately, we were not able to show the cross-curricular project. Can you tell us something about cross-curricular projects?
Cross-curricular project, of course, it's an integration of like two or more of learning areas into your into the existing curriculum, making it easier for our learners to connect. Kasi nga through cross-curricular integration, they'll be able to understand better, and then nakikita nila kasi yung gap on the different learning area, and mas kaya nang sinabi ko before na putol, mas hindi pagod yung ating mga learners. It's because through cross curricular activities or cross curricular project or outputs, you are targeting one output or one projects, and then integrated na doon yung different learning areas. And of course, since our topic is about cell and creative expression, it's also good for us to integrate then, aside from cross-curricular project or activities, we can also include in there while crafting or designing our own cross-curricular projects, the cell integration and creative expression. And of course, with the help of technology, which in this case, we actually championed the Bunsy platform.
This I want to show this question from Edwin. He says, "Will it take much memory if I add Bunsy to my computer while I am using it at least loaded na kasi sir eh?" Very
Okay.
practical question.
That's fine po because it will not take up much of your memory din kasi nga it's an online and yung mga materials naman dito it's basically it's cloud naka-store naman siya through cloud storage and basically you're just linking yung mga existing resources online and for the templates naman, automatic nandun naman po sa ating Bunsy platform. So that's fine po. Basically, hindi mo naman unlike Photoshop na i-download mo siya and install sa laptop mo. You can just go to your browser that's that of Bunsy and go to the site of Bunsy.
Thank you, JP. There's one good, let's bring this up from Pia Crenrose. I'm exploring the Bunsy app while watching this webinar, and so far, so good. By the way, there are some people asking, Sir JP is very fast in showing us what we need to do. Can we ask for a copy of the presentation? Don't worry, it's because this is online learning. Everything will be uploaded. So there's what we call a self-paced learning. So we will give you 1 week to rewatch everything else and learn from it. We will be uploading everything also in our social media pages, all the videos. So you will be able to study with JP at your own most convenient.
Exactly. Of course, if you
Yeah.
are also interested to about learning about social emotional learning and creative expression, plus of course the Bunsy platform, we have a lot of like kagaya ng sinabi ni Sir Jim, we have a lot of resources littered over the internet. Like you can do self-paced learning. This time I would like to promote yung ating Microsoft Educator Center, which they have an online course for social emotional learning, creative expression, and Bunsy as well. So you can just go ahead and explore those options. Yes, medyo mabilis because limited lang yung time natin. Medyo nagkaroon pa tayong technical difficulties. But that's the benefit siguro kapag online lahat. You can always access those resources anytime.
All right. There's one more here from Maricar. I think this is a very good, di ba, JP? JP and I are fellow Ilocano, so go Ilocanos.
Yes.
Maricar, JP is in Laoag right now, so I think we can all relate with this this is very realistic also. Very interactive and another educational platform option. Sana nga lang po lahat ng learners ay may access sa internet at technological devices, lalo na po sa rural and remote areas. For our international audience, if I may translate, Mary Carr is saying that she hopes that all learners have access to the internet and, of course, technological devices, most especially in rural and remote areas. I think that's one thing that we are aspiring for all of us. We continue to hope, but Maricar, thank you for this, because this is one reminder. Just a background, we're having online distance learning because we support. Tagpros is an startup company promoting online learning, but it does not mean that we're not also aware of our reality. So someday, hopefully, we can also bring in webinar workshops for our fellow teachers who are not able to teach online. But there, yeah. So I'm just looking for other questions. Maybe one more, Jean Paul. There's again, it's very technical. Also, I like the Ideas Lab feature. It can really help us teachers. pwede po ba ma-enhance and ma-copy na hindi ma-copyright? Diba, like for example, we have commons under materials or resources under the Creative Commons copyright, pattern or system. Does Bunsy allow this? Remix,
Um,
yung mga ganun?
Yeah, actually, I've demonstrated that a while ago, wherein if I am the creator of the Bansi content, once I click on the share, I have the option to like indicate that if someone wants to enhance it or to edit it. So it's up to the creator if he or she will do that. If you go to the Ideas Lab and you can see that the create button is accessible, meaning to say you can enhance that. You can enhance, you can copy that and contextualize that basically. But if there's no create or there's no button for like enhancement or creating a copy for that, basically what the creator did is she or he put some restriction.
All right. Thank you, John Paul. We'll be able to see John Paul later on. Thank you so much, John Paul, for coming in at this time. For those who are looking for the videos later, we will upload the complete one after our session. And yeah, we will have another conversation later with John Paul. So, John Paul, I will let you go backstage on our virtual backstage and we'll bring you up later. Bye, John Paul. See you later. All right. So that was a very interesting discussion with John Paul. And again, we apologize for the technical difficulties that we had a while ago. We are ready to move to the second speaker, Mr. Luis Pelea. However, before we move, may I just again welcome those who just came in today. We have more than 1,000 viewers and participants today. Thank you so much for this warm welcome. This is Tagpros' first webinar workshop for this month. So to those who have joined us, our live stream, welcome to Tagpros Education's first ever webinar workshop. And of course, this is made possible with our partners' support. Globe Telecommunications, the Department of Education International Cooperation Office, Teacher Education Network in the Philippines, and the next series. And of course, by the way, if you just came in because you've heard from your friend, from your co-teacher also, yes, you are correct. Globe Telecom is our partner, and they are giving away 7 500 peso GCash for 7 lucky participants. So all you have to do is to watch the webinar workshops until the end of this event. And then second, we will be showing you an evaluation. For those who have registered who are not here, well, basically you have to make sure what we will be using for raffle tickets are your evaluation forms. So in your evaluation forms later on, you will be asked for your GCash number. So make sure that you have you have a GCash app in your cell phones or your tablets, and then you have a GCash account. You will not be picked as a winner if you don't have a GCash account, because of course we will not be able to send the GCash if you don't have. So, and then later on, please make sure that you follow us in our social media accounts. All right. So keep your questions and insights coming. Send them via the comment section so we can read them. So for our next speaker, we are very interested with his session because our next speaker by profession is actually a literacy teacher. He is an English teacher and an EdTech coordinator. But he is also passionate about, or EdTech integrator. He is also passionate about teaching music to young kids. So just think of this. He is a literacy English teacher. He loves to use technology in teaching his classes. But his passion is also on music. And we at Tagpros promote what we call as passion-based learning. So we welcome our next speaker. Let me see if we can bring him up before he starts his session. Mr. Luis Pelea, are you with us? I think he's in our virtual backstage. Let me just pull him up. Luis, Mr. Pelea.
Hi, hello, yes.
All right. So, Mr. Luis Pelea, how are you today?
I'm feeling very excited and looking forward to be learning with fellow educators from all around the Philippines, actually.
All right. So, we are excited to listen to you, Mr. Luis Pelea. So, if you are ready, maybe we can start already with your session. So,
All right.
if you may share.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Luis Pelea from Xavier School, Philippines. I'm also a Tagpros pioneer, and I'm pleased to be presenting on fine-tune techniques in integrating online learning and music today at the Tagpros Education Webinar Workshop for teachers. I'm also an English teacher and a session musician. So to kick things off, I want to start with a big question. As educators, we make it a point to always have that big question whenever we accomplish our unit plans. And today, our big question is, when do we intentionally utilize music in the classroom for our advantage? Or is it just a time filler? So the key word here is that we have to be intentional whenever we use music in the classroom, may it be virtually or in the physical classroom. Oftentimes, we use music in the classroom to keep students preoccupied. As I mentioned, we use it mostly as a time filler, but it can also be used for three things. Number one, motivation. Two, fun and play. And three, for physical movement. Music can cater to various learning styles such as auditory, hearing the music, visual, seeing the teacher move to match a lyric, and kinesthetic, moving our body to the beat. So music is more than an elective. It's meant for more than just to idle the time away. If we are intentional, music can supplement the learning process. It can help the students. And I believe this is one of the very important things that we have to consider with online teaching or online learning, because music is a skill-based subject. So it has become very challenging to teach such concept as this. So one of the main challenges brought about by ODL is that we are no longer connected with our students. And for music, that can be quite a challenge. But here is the kicker. Music partnered with pop culture bridges the disconnect brought about by online distance learning, or ODL. Integrating pop culture to music and other subjects widens the lenses of the students. It enables them to understand concepts and empowers them to perceive things differently. So what is pop culture? Pop culture is a unifying agent. It brings us all together in something common, something we all love or like or appreciate. It helps us identify collectively. It serves as an inclusionary role in the virtual classroom and unites the teacher and students on ideals of acceptable forms of behavior. As I said, utilizing pop culture to enhance the teaching of music and other subjects. Going back, when concepts are assimilated with music and pop culture, it helps contextualize it in ways students can relate to and understand. We want to be able to assimilate or create the illusion or the notion that we are still part of a tightly knit community, even if we only see them in tiny little boxes of our screen. instead of four walls of the classroom. All right. What do we see here on our slide deck? The periodic table of elements. Is there anyone here that can recite the periodic table of elements by heart, mention its characteristics, or maybe even practical uses in the real world? I'll be honest with you, even I can't, right? So how do we expect our students to get in line or to get in touch with a complex subject or concept such as this if we ourselves are having trouble grasping it as well? Why? We have to put a premium. We have to put value. We need to make this relatable to the students. How we do that? Well, there are two approaches for the science lesson. Of course, on the left side, you have the conventional approach. Students will be taught the lesson in their traditional way with textbooks, handouts, and of course, even a slide deck. But what's on the other end of the spectrum? We could integrate music and pop culture, right? Students will be taught the same lesson, but with the integration of music and pop culture. Why? To make the periodic table of elements more admissible and enjoyable for the students, music and pop culture will be integrated. And what better way to integrate pop culture than by taking a mainstream popular song, one of the songs from Moira Del Torre. She's actually a homegrown Filipino singer and performer. So I'm sure, hopefully, if you're from the Philippines, you can relate to this song too. Okay, so how exactly will this integration or injection of pop culture and music work? The lyrics will be changed to the different elements, characteristics, and practical uses in the world, while still retaining the original music by Moira de la Torre. All right? So the rationale behind this is that through the integration and the exposure of students to music and pop culture, they will be able to absorb and retain key concepts more effectively as compared to just blatantly congesting their minds with an information overload, with an absence of the out-of-the-box execution, which I believe is very needed in this new online distance learning setup. Okay, so these are some students of mine who I'm very proud of. I tasked them with making an authentic project a while back. I asked them to find a way to make the periodic table of elements achievable or admissible. The only parameters I gave them were to inject music and pop culture. And what they did was take the music of the song by Moira, but make their own lyrics entirely to be able to understand and remember the concept. And here is a product of their hard work. Let's listen to the song.
Carbon is a metal that is too big for future diamonds and graphites. Through can be found in metals and in colors, petroleum, welding stuff, and fillers. Hydrogen's a gas that has no calling other, and it's also very flammable. It can be found in rocket fuel, but it is in the atmosphere. Seriously, don't go away if you have a lighter. Oxygen, as we all know, provides life to breathing life. I guess besides the stuff, and it's also still rusting agent. Nitrogen's a gas that conquers most of our atmosphere. It's liquid, it's really cold. It's used in ice-cream production. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. of metal that can be really soft. It can be found in squishy and funky. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, nitrogen, iron, sodium, calcium, silicon, and neon elements. We chose for a science project.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that breather for a bit, listening to. So actually, at the time, these students were grade 8, composed of a guitarist, a percussionist, and 2 singers, 2 vocalists. So why? Oh, in case you didn't catch the lyrics, these are the original lyrics composed by them, talking about the elements of the periodic table, characteristics, and practical uses in the world as well. So why bother? We have to put a premium on these things, on concepts that are difficult to grasp, right? The solution is to make it relatable. In this new normal, where students are susceptible to distractions and a media overload, we need to make it valuable, place a premium. And with that, students need to be actively engaged and involved. So to bridge that disconnect of online teaching and online learning, we need to meet them at their own level. Our approach and delivery must be reactive or interactive. I believe that's one of a very effective strategies to bridge this disconnect. There's another way also. If we were to be teaching music theory, on the other hand, assigning corresponding gestures to each note allows for music theory to be brought down to the level of the students. It becomes something tangible and something relatable. So for a whole note, which has 4 beats, maybe you could assign a sound effect or assign a different kind of gesture, assign another gesture for a half note, another gesture for quarter note, and for an 8th note, and maybe even a 16th note. But that would be very difficult. So for the music teachers out there, if you were to concretize the different notes, it will be more than just music theory. It will be more than just reading notes on a sheet, on a musical sheet. It will be something measurable by adding gestures or effects to them. We can create our own. So why go through all this? Why not just stick to what we know? Why not stick to already what's being done? Because we have to overcome the challenges brought about by online teaching and online learning. Make it reactive and make it engaging. All right? So far, we were able to discuss strategies that we can employ to address such challenges of teaching online. Now, let's take a sidestep a bit and go to the nitty-gritty details that I believe will be very helpful, especially when it comes to teaching music, all right? So I'm contextualizing this for music, all right? It might not necessarily be workable for other subjects, but for music, I believe it is the ideal way to go about things. So, online distance learning, of course, what is the ideal video conferencing tool to use? So right off the bat, we have 3 main choices, or 3 of the most flagship options. We have Zoom, we have FaceTime, and Skype. Let's talk about all 3. I personally prefer Zoom because of the 2 main features of screen share and the built-in session recording. Now, I may be biased towards using iOS or iPadOS devices, but unfortunately for FaceTime, it is exclusive only to Apple users, and there is no native screen share option. With that in mind, it might not cater to all of our students. What if not all of them are using iPads? What if they're using Android, right? Or other tablets? So we have to be considerate of that as well. We have Skype, one of the earlier video conferencing tools that I believe we used back in the day, but there is no native session recording. So if it were up to me, I'd go for Zoom. All right. So we talked about the different out of the box approaches on how we can make delivering music lessons more enriching. We can use pop culture, and you can use music and live gestures. Now let's move on to 5 tips to teaching music online. We have 5. Number 1, adjust your communication style to a new medium. So what does that mean? We as teachers are forced to transition from being right there next to our students in the same room, taking a lot of space, to being tiny little boxes on our Zoom screen. So with this, we need to adjust our speech and our gestures accordingly, or even our strategies, to continue to engage them and grab their attention. Not only to hook them, but to keep them listening towards the end. So adjust your communication style. Number 2, provide media-rich assignments. So exactly what is this? This means providing authentic and supportive assignments for your students in such a way that when they finally decide to do them asynchronously, they will understand them with ease and have all the support that they would need. So one of the key things about delivering or implementing material asynchronously is that even with the teacher absent, they can accomplish it independently. So it has to be designed in such a way that they can do it even if the teacher isn't around. Also, it has to be rich and authentic. So the thing about music, a skill-based subject, a skill-based concept, it's all about drills. It's all about practice. Similar to math, you can't teach math and you can't teach music by just showing them equations, by just showing them music theory alone. It has to be partnered with a lot of application. What does that mean? We need to give them practice, drills, hands-on and practical outputs that they have to accomplish. Number 3, use the medium to your advantage. Now, the screen that we initially dread is now your new best friend, is now your new partner. Engage your students in that experience and use the camera to your advantage. With the camera, we now have the capacity or capability to zoom in on our fingers when playing chords, chord shapes, and notes, which is a plus, something we couldn't do before. So there are disadvantages, but maximize it. Zoom in, let them see exactly what notes you're hitting or pressing. Next, connect with the learners and their parents, right? Provide back-end channel support. I think that's very important, especially today. We do everything remotely. We do everything online. Since we no longer meet face-to-face and things like this are done remotely, there's a tendency for them to feel neglected. So create back-end channel support to still provide or create the illusion that we're still together in a community. In other words, anything to make the parents and the learning managers feel more involved and feel more like partners. Connect your community of learners and parents together to create the bed of love and support that used to be there before the pandemic. And lastly, last tip for teaching music online. Play and use a lot of manipulatives. Utilize a lot of paraphernalia and keep the students zoned in. So what do I mean? We have to be able to use a lot of real world things. Like use your actual guitar, use the keyboard, all right? Don't forget to use the actual things. Now, we talked about tips. I want to give a couple pro tips also. Zoom first. Why I really love and prefer to use Zoom is because of this not so basic Zoom screen share. Now, what can you do here? Basically, we can, it's exclusive to Zoom, the music teacher can share directly from their iPhone or iPad. This is quite intuitive because let's say you want to share a music sheet, tablature, directly from your iPhone or iPad. You can do that. It may be exclusive to Apple devices, but you won't have to fiddle with what's already on display, with what's already shared. So you can still keep sharing your slide deck while still sharing something on a separate device. So here, like in the slide, you can share directly from the device. I think that's very handy. All right, let's move on to the different tools or platforms that I prefer to use when delivering or giving music classes. GarageBand. With GarageBand, music teachers can become instant professional audio engineers and record without the noise and still add effects straight from their iPads or iOS devices, or Apple devices rather. Something that was only possible if we invested in expensive pedal boards or guitar FX boards before, we can now do directly or straight from our devices. So if you look at the slide right here, you can record using a microphone or line input and just drag and drop audio files. You can use a MIDI keyboard. You can arrange, you can create your own musical pieces. My favorite, of course, is connecting a device directly to your guitar, but you will have to use an audio interface, right? So, but of course, there's a lingering question. Not all teachers are using Apple devices, and that wouldn't be fair. What would we do if you're not on an Apple device, right? That may be a question in your mind right now. There are third-party apps that are also very accustomed to this. Probably Sibelius, it's a paid app, or Tonara, another paid app. And back in the day, I'd also used to use Audacity. That's from a long time ago. You can also use that for maybe PC users or those who aren't really leaning towards Apple or iOS devices. And of course, as I mentioned here, all you need is an audio interface to directly connect it to your device. Next, on GarageBand, if you don't have a MIDI keyboard or a digital keyboard readily available or accessible, you can have one right there in GarageBand, just like on the screen. Lastly, Guitar Tuner, or Guitar Tuner, the #1 tuner in the world, as they say. Gone are the days when we've had to go out to a music store and purchase a tuner. Today, we can get right directly from our phones, our mobile phones. And this app can tune most, if not all, stringed instruments. So every time you need to tune an instrument, you don't need to worry, oh no, I didn't bring my gig bag, or I forgot to bring what I need. It's okay. You have it directly stored on your phone. So we talked about strategies, we talked about tools, we talked about platforms, and even third-party apps. But what does this mean for us as educators and even musicians, right? Because I believe, I'd like to assume that most of us are music teachers here. We need to embrace the change. It may be uncharted territories, but it's there, and that's okay. We can deal with it. All right, so we talked about 5 tips for teaching music online. Now let's move on to key elements. So as I mentioned, we already know the challenge is there, right? So what are we gonna do about it? Teaching setup. Okay, so first, your teaching setup, very important. What do you need to know? You need a device. So the bare minimum requirement for your device is that you should have a built-in camera and microphone. This allows for you to see and hear your students at the same time. Of course, if you only have a smartphone, okay, but I guess I wouldn't recommend a phone due to its limited screen real estate and subpar speakers. And as a music teacher, part of the setting up, I think what's very important is device positioning. Consider placing your Mac on a stand, or your iPad or tablet on a holder, right? It's very important that we consider device positioning. Next, implementation. What is that? This plays an integral part, as it will help you and the teacher adjust technology and refine your teaching method, because it's all about pedagogy, right? So create familiarity. Music is as just much a process as a product, right? And last key element, of course, is to demonstrate, play, encourage, and motivate. Don't forget to be the passionate music teacher that you already are, because students will respond to you and they will follow you wherever you take them. So, as music teachers, the importance of what we do with the students is vital in their development, as we contribute to making well rounded and connected human beings. So, in ODL or online distance learning, this is something that we need to ingrain in our minds. So, again, we were able to identify our situation. We came up with action points, but as formators, as educators, where does that leave us? Teaching music online may have its challenges, but it's still possibly to teach effectively if we use the right approach and still anchored on pedagogy. The benefits of online music learning far outweigh the minuscule challenges that we have to overcome initially. So, what is our takeaway here? When it comes to music and online learning, there's a difference between giving them limitations and restrictions and motivating them to engage in developmentally appropriate digital tools. So, as we come to the close of today's Tagpros webinar workshop, I just want to leave you with a pillar of encouragement and maybe a challenge at the same time. You don't necessarily have to be the best online teacher. You just need to provide a sense of normalcy in a world full of change and provide a whole lot of support in this uncertain times of online distance learning, right? So that's been fine-tuned techniques in integrating online learning and music. Again, I'm Luis Antonio Pelea, and it has been a pleasure discussing and learning with all of you some strategies and techniques to employ in this new setup that we all have to be accustomed to. If you'd have any questions or clarifications, feel free to contact me. I'd be more than willing to address any of those concerns. I'd like to stay connected with you as well. So I hope you stay tuned, and I hope that you follow Tagpros on your social media accounts for more updates of amazing webinars like these. And don't forget, you'll also be getting a free e-certificate once you've completed this session. All right, so this is Luis Pelea signing off. Hope to see you soon.
Mr. Luis Pelea is just kidding. He's actually here with us again. So that was very inspiring, Mr. Luis Pelea. Some people are commenting, bakit ang soft ng boses ni Mr. Pelea? Why is his voice so, not just soft, it's so gentle. Luis Pelea is actually a grade school teacher. He has been teaching young learners. So that's his teacher voice. Now for us, our teacher voice could be very different. Some of us is very exciting and big. Mr. Pelea is so immersed in teaching young students. All right, so very interesting question. Mr. Pelea, there's one question here I think we just need to answer. Will you be willing to share the slides that you have, because they saw a lot of things that they would learn? Will you be willing to share?
Yes, of course. Anything to promote more teaching within corporate music, yes.
All right. So thank you, Mr. Pelea. So there, everyone, for those who were asking, I think they were really very interested. Some of the comments here, if I may just put them back I'm just scrolling right now. Johanna said there's something about music that can make you memorize the lyrics easily. Here in our school, we use music as a method to make our students remember important parts. What's your comment here, Mr. Pelea?
Yes, I agree. It's actually anchored on the memory episodic thinking as well. Whenever we use things that we can relate to, whenever we use topics that are close to our hearts, it really helps engage students and learners. It makes it something conquerable or understandable for them. So, as teachers, if we can find that thin line between just the topic and making it something of interest or something of a premium to them, it really will help with the retention and comprehension. And it actually doesn't just work for science. I think it could also be used for other subjects like math as well, especially for the early grades. Yes.
All right, Mr. Pelea, that was a very good question. But I have one more here. Mas nakaka-relate. I can relate with this
Of
one.
course.
This
Yes.
is from Rosel Napili. So Rosel says, thank you for the very informative topic about music. But how can we engage some students who are not really fond of music? I can relate to that because, I know how to play the guitar, I know how to play the piano, organ, but I'm not a good singer. Like music, I love music, but music does not love me. And I do remember when I was, in the grade school, I sort of hated my music class because we had to sing together. But I love music because when I'm alone, I can play like instruments. So, Mr. Pelea, how would you answer Rosel's question?
Yes, this is a very good question, and thank you for asking that as well. Basically, it's also about providing the students with a sense of creative control at the same time, and being able to assign different roles. So, what I used to do with my music students before, I give them different roles. I divide them by instrumentalists and by vocalists because not everyone can sing and play. It's either or. So when giving clear cut roles and really establishing the importance of that role, we can really provide the learner to be empowered, to mobilize the learner, to feel that whatever he is doing is of equal importance as well. Also, I'd also like to give the student more chances for self-expression by, for example, I would want you to play this song, but on the guitar, strum it however way you like. I'd be more lenient. So it's also fun to see how students would interpret a musical piece or how they would interpret a chord progression. So when we give them that sense of freedom, it makes them feel empowered and will hopefully mobilize them to to develop a lifelong love for music and learning.
Thank you so much, Luis. I keep on hearing the idea that if we really give our students the opportunity to choose, like to
Yeah.
choose how they would learn, to choose how would they demonstrate their learning, we call this in education, we call this as learner agency. When we give students the opportunity to choose, so there's choice and there's voice. Of course, that will not happen overnight because we also need to ready our students. Baka bigla na lang silang magulat na, ay, may music na pala tayo in math. I think we need to usher them slowly into this. But very good comments, actually, Mr. Pelea. And a lot of them are really, engaged. I think this is the first time that a lot of people are really looking into music as a part of learning right now. One very interesting question. I don't know if you would be able to answer this, Mr. Pelea, but this is worth bringing up. This is from Ronald Alan Kalingasan. What will be your suggestion if you are teaching MAPE, that's music, arts, physical education, and health, which is not your major, or and you're not, well, you're a teacher, but like me, you're not very good in music. Is this something that Mr. Kalinsanga or Teacher Ronald and others can learn to do or to teach?
Well, I believe if it is not really your forte, for example, music or the arts, we could just make the learning more reactive or more interactive, especially with the challenges brought about by the pandemic, which forces us to learn remotely. I think if we're not really inclined towards music, perhaps I could suggest that maybe you could give them reactive or interactive roles of doing their task in music, probably by employing making self compositions and making their own arrangements with set parameters in music also. So it's like letting them do the work. You give them the possibilities, but you let them decide how they want to execute the musical pieces, because you can give them any set of chords and they can play it whichever way they like. So I think it's a matter of giving them more creative control over it.
All right. So let's just read some comments. Thank you, Mr. Pelea, for that answer. I agree. We always give students opportunities to know things outside the box, especially if this is put outside of their comfort zone. So let's allow them to love music. From Manolita, integration of music in all subjects is now possible as an intermission or an activity. Whichever or whatever music is a good option to motivate and engage students. Let me just look for other questions. But I love reading the comments. Like Teacher Maribel. Teacher Maribel says, "Sir, music can ease the mind and the soul," which is very, very correct. Indeed, music can be of great help to our online class and better online learning. A warm applause for Tagpros and Sir Pelea. Very young. Yes, Mr. Pelea, very young. Very young and inspiring. Thanks for empowering us. I have a personal question, Mr. Pelea. This has been one big issue. And, we're very much focused right now on science, technology, engineering, math, or STEM. There's a movement towards STEAM, which includes arts. Some people are saying that, maybe arts like music, visual arts, and all those theater arts are not as important as core subjects such as science, literacy, and other subjects. What's your comment about this thing? Should we really give up on music and arts and prioritize other subjects, or is there a way for us to still value arts and music, Mr. Pelea?
Yes, that's a very good question. I honestly believe that music should continue to live on in the lives and legacies of teachers and students alike, especially since I really want for the misnomer of student being just a time filler or a time killer, and to shift for music to be something that is important. I believe that if music is done with the right strategies and pedagogy, if it's executed properly, it will really help in honing innate skills of learners. Because honestly, we have different kind of learners, right? We have different intelligences. Some are gifted towards music, some are gifted towards other things. I really believe that we should still cater, we should still accommodate other forms of learning or other learning styles. I'm an advocate for music and learning, for music and integration and everything. Yes.
All right. And there's one more here that says, if our learners come from diverse, how can we choose the right music? This is another question, very related to what you've said a while ago. We empower our students. Music is very important. Actually, music is part of our culture, right? As one country, we have different cultures and indigenous groups in the Philippines. And this is one question from Donna. If our learners come from diverse cultures, how can we choose the right music? Or is there a right music appropriate to be integrated in our lesson?
Okay, well, personally, I think more than focusing on the type of music we would like to introduce, I think it's more about getting to know the target audience or getting to know the stakeholders. So the kind of students that you have, from establishing rapport, from meeting with them individually and as a whole, when we get to know them, I think that's where we'll be able to decide or discern what type of music. And yes, just like what you said, Mr. Toscano, it is indeed part of our culture. So all the way from the classic Kundiman era to our modern pop culture of today, there are a lot of options out there to use. So for me, it's more of getting in tune, getting in line with our target audience, or getting to know the students more first.
All right. So thank you so much. We've received very good feedback. So thank you, Mr. Pelea, for answering the questions. Indeed, music is an integral part of our culture. It's part of our creative expression also, and part of our holistic the education for our students. So here at Tagpros, that's one thing that we actually value. One of our core vision as a company, we push for passion-based learning. We advocate for passion-based learning, and that involves passion for music, passion for the arts, and even love for culture. So let me just bring up. Let's go. Moving to the next part. We're very excited to welcome back Mr. John Paul Viernes in our discussion. Mr. Viernes,
Hello,
let's fix.
I'm
Okay,
back.
so yeah, we survived. We're very
Yes.
candid that we survived our technical concern, technical problem a while ago. But one, let's just put a summary or maybe last few questions about here. Both of your discussions speak about creative expression. Music. John Paul touched on Bunsey. Bunsey is a very great application, and if you look at it, it allows students to really tap on their creative aspect as they demonstrate or even try to learn. My last question for both of you right now is, before we proceed to the next part of our program, why is it necessary to continue pushing for or tapping on the creativity of our students? Maybe let's start with John Paul.
Um, yes. Let me just. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. It's important for us, of course, to develop creativity amongst our learners. It's because, again, we're dealing with the 21st century learners now. Even if your learners came from the mountains or came from the urban or the rural places, we're dealing with the 21st century now, and they are quicker, they are sharper, and as an educator, we need to address their needs. And one of it, of course, is addressing their needs with regards to their creative sides. Kasi nga, our learners today are more expressive. They are more expressive, and they can do that with different platforms. Will it be maybe technology a platform or non-tech or the traditional platform? So it's really important for us to understand our learners today and meet their needs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Viernes. So it's really meeting our students and giving them the opportunity, right? So it's answering their needs, understanding their context. Mr. Pelea, what's your thought on fostering creativity or creative skills in our students right now?
Yes, I believe it is very timely, given that students are really isolated and stuck at their screens on it the entire day. I believe that students really need an avenue or a channel for creative expression. And when we allow for that, we will really unlock their innate and potential. You know, if we really allow for them to show what they're capable of, we will be surprised to see how different types of learners step up. When they step up, it's because we mobilize them to do so. So providing an avenue, I think, is very important. So that's why we should really take care and foster creativity in this new generation and new setup.
Thank you, Luis, and thank you, Mr. John Paul Viernes. Very interesting also that creativity bridges or also puts forward John Paul's idea of social emotional learning. Right now, we're so focused on asking our students to get perfect scores, to complete the modules, to complete everything, get high grades. We forget that education is not just about academics. It's not just about learning ideas, concept. It's also about fostering creativity. It's also about building social emotional learning skills. And I thank John Paul and I thank and Luis for bringing this up. These are the much needed skills. They're called essential skills for a number of reasons because they're essential. The job of us teachers, we are all teachers here, is to really push for this the development of essential skills. We're now moving to our last part, and before we award our certificates to our lovely and very good, excellent. It's not just me, by the way. It's our comments are flooded with of amazing, amazing words for Luis and JP. Last message. We're doing online distance learning. That's what we're talking about right now. But we're also mindful that there are teachers who are undergoing different and students undergoing non-online distance learning modality. Of course, we have different circumstances and context. What is your final message to our teachers right now, as we go to the end of our school year? So what's your final message to them? Let's start with Luis, and then John Paul could follow after.
As an encouragement to all the educators and teachers out there, I guess I'd want to tell everyone that look at the units first, look at the plan first, more than thinking of the genre of music that you want to incorporate, more than thinking of the technology that you want to incorporate. Think about the lesson that you're going to do, and everything else will follow smoothly. So more than thinking about, is this the right music for the student? Is this something he will like? I think rather than that, focus on what you want to achieve. And of course, as teachers, as music teachers, we want to achieve a lifelong love for learning. Passion comes first. Passion followed by talent. So for me, I believe once you have that passion, the talent will follow.
Yes. All right. So my encouragement or my message, of course, to our fellow educators, most especially since I am from the Department of Education, to our DepEd teachers. So since we're gearing towards the end of the school year now, we're in the fourth or the third quarter of the last period or the last quarter for the school year 2020-2021. It's just keep keep your passion alive, just like what Sir Lewis have mentioned. And I just like to add that if you will create your passion, your profession, everything will follows. Right, everything will follows, and don't think that there's a lot of there's a lot of things to do. Like I'll be needing to attend to these trainings. I'll be needing to finish this, checking these modules and everything. Dami dami. The teachers are actually bombarded with a lot of things, most especially in the public schools. But remember the core values, or remember your reason why you are teaching, and that's because we wanted to have an impact, or to create an impact to our community, most especially to the lives of our learners. That's it.
All right. So wonderful closing messages, inspiring messages from Mr. Pelea, from Luis, and from John Paul. So for our next part, I think we're very excited, and we all agree that we've learned a lot from Luis and John Paul. And we at Tagpros, not an advertisement, but just to for the information of everyone, Luis and John Paul are actually part of what we call a very special group at Tagpros. We call them the Tagpros Pioneers. So you will be hearing more from Luis and from John Paul as we continue with our project, with our building, with the building of Tagpros Education Marketplace. As pioneers, in the coming weeks, we will be announcing, we'll be opening an opportunity for our teachers to become partner teachers for Tagpros. At Tagpros, we aim to create an education platform and marketplace where K to 12 students could pursue passion-based learning, where they can have Luis Pelea as teacher in playing in and knowing how to play the guitar, or maybe using the garage band to create their own music, or maybe if you don't know yet, be where your children or your students can enroll under Mr. John Paul Viernes, who is also very good in coding, most especially in using Scratch in coding. So our Tagpros pioneers are not just simply amazing education leaders, experts in the classroom. They are also partnering with us. They are our pioneers, and they are part of Tagpros, and they will be teaching what they're passionate about to your K to 12 students. So if you're a parent or a grandparent, or maybe also if you are a teacher and you want to help your student pursue their passion even at this time of the pandemic, like passion in music, cooking, makeup, or being a live streamer, everything coding, please do wait for our announcement at Tagpros as we open our platform to our partner teachers and to our future students. So thank you so much. So to end this part, let's congratulate. Kindly help me in congratulating and awarding the certificate of appreciation to Mr. Luis Pelea or John Paul Viernes first. So sorry, we did not put the signature there for privacy and safety purposes, but we will be awarding the certificate of appreciation being awarded to John Paul Viernes and even to Mr. Luis Pelea for their exceptional contribution as a webinar workshop speaker on the topic that they have delivered to us as part of the Advancing Better Online Distance Learning webinar workshop series on effective strategies and approaches in online distance learning of Tagpros. So given on or awarded on June 5, 2021 via Tagpros Education Facebook and YouTube Live, and even right now we're live streaming on the Department of Education International Cooperations Office. Signed by me, Chief Program Officer for Tagpros Education, and my fellow co-founder and CEO, Christian S. Manansala at Tagpros Education. So, Mr. Viernes, we will be sending this e-certificate to you as well as to Luis. So thank you so much for being here with us. So we hope that you stay safe and healthy. Bye, JP. Bye, Luis.
Bye.
All right. So we are on our last stretch. I'm pretty sure you're waiting for this. Yeah. So you too will also have your e-certificate of participation when you do our evaluation form. So for our evaluation form, we'll be showing that after our final message. So may I just remind, so can you please put that up again? Some of you are asking, and I need a big request right now. We saw on the comments people who are, or teachers who are posting their GCash account. Please don't post your information in the comments. We will we'll instruct you on how we will get those information from you. But please do not post them on the comment. Let's practice digital citizenship. Let's respect digital privacy. So for you to enter our raffle draw, so we're looking for 7 lucky participants to be given 500 GCash courtesy of our partner Globe Telecom. So what you need to do is to watch the webinar workshop, complete the evaluation form on www.tagpros.org. So our team, they are now posting it online. They're posting the link on the comment side. So let me see. Yeah. So the link here, the link is being shared on the comments. The evaluation there. You may also take a screenshot. So it's just very simple. Just go to www.tagpros.org. That's our website at the end of our session. And then make sure that you put your information there. That's also the evaluation form. The evaluation form asks for your GCash account. So make sure that you have that. So follow all our social media pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'll do a raffle draw within the week. So you have until until Friday to do all necessary evaluation. And on Saturday, we will announce the winners for the first installment of the webinar workshop series that we have. So again, you have the whole week next week to answer the evaluation form, and then by Friday we will close the evaluation form, and then we will do a raffle draw, and then on Saturday next week, so make sure that you watch, we will be announcing the winners. All right. So we have a very special guest. Tagpros Education is actually Tagpros Education is actually a registered EdTech startup. We're a new company and we are registered in the United States of America and also here in the Philippines. And we have a very special guest all the way from Virginia, or yes, all the way from, no, not Virginia, all the way from Washington in the United States. Let me call on my co-founder and also the Chief Executive Officer of Tagpros Education, Mr. Christian Manansala, for his closing message to us all the way from the United States of America.
Hi, my name is Chris Manansala, founder and CEO of Tagpros. Since that day in March last year, we have experienced fear, confusion, frustration, grief, anxiety, and loss due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Families have had to make adjustments to their daily lives that they never could have imagined. Parents, grandparents, and siblings became co-teachers, setting up makeshift classrooms within their homes while continuing to work. Students pick up more hours at home, caught up on some needed sleep, and improve their digital skills, all while attending virtual classes. And of course, you, our beloved teachers, who until now are striving to convey lessons for your students while parenting your very own at home. You continue to find ways of improving your teaching capabilities online. Although these uncertain times have brought many challenges for everyone, they have also brought us gift, the gift of time. We teachers appreciate the essence of slowing down, taking the time to try to reflect while trying to understand how we can convey learning to our students. As a result of the pandemic, we have had the opportunity to take a pause, a deep breath, and really plan on how we can reach and engage children remotely, but with efficiency and efficacy. Here in Tagpros, our philosophy for learning is that teachers with an idea should have the ability to teach their passion to like-minded learners. Instead of offering online courses consisting of boring lectures and quizzes through generic and old-school approach, Tagpros gives students an immersive learning experience where they'll work with an expert teacher such as yourselves to learn academics, a hobby, or a new subject. We're designing our platform to be friendly to teachers across all fields because we want our students to be able to enrich themselves in whatever topic they are passionate. Tagpros gives you a large amount of discretion to plan courses. Traditionally, teachers in majority of virtual schools, especially those who teach younger grades, have control over how they administer content and establish a set of topics each student should master. On the contrary, here, you can decide what students should learn on their own and craft an immersive, passion-based approach on how you perceive students would best be able to master the course. So take the lessons that you've learned on your webinar series, not just in this pandemic, but throughout your career. Let them guide you, inspire you, and remind you that we are all for the future of our generation, our students. Please be safe, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish you all the best. Hope to collaborate with you here in Tagpros. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Christian. Christian sends his message all the way from the United States of America. So again, thank you so much for being with us. This is part one. We hope to see you on the next 3 Saturdays of June of this month as we continue with the different parts of our webinar workshop series for June. And again, like today, every Saturday will when you watch and you are with us, you will be given a chance to win 500 Gcash courtesy of our partner Globe Telecom. And also, we want to extend our gratitude to our official partners, the Department of Education International Cooperation Office under the leadership of Dr. Margarita Consolacion Ballesteros and her staff and the whole ICO team for allowing this partnership and for helping us reach to our fellow teachers in the country and even internationally also. We also thank Teacher Education Network under the leadership and management of Vice Principal Gino Lowayon for allowing us also to reach more teachers, especially in the private sector also. And of course, Xavier School's next series. As we continue with our discussion, you will find out more about this group of computer education teachers from Xavier School San Juan who have their advocacy also in helping teachers learn more about online teaching. So that's next series, and we hope that you stay with us throughout the year for you to meet them also. And of course, with much gratitude also our main partner Globe Telecom, the leading telecommunications company in the country. So thank you so much, Globe, for sponsoring and for reaching out also to our teachers. So there, one last invitation. Could the technical team also show our next sessions? So on June 12th. So let us show the slide so that our dear participants will be able to see that. Could we put up the posters? Okay, so on June 12th, we will have a coding. So very interesting again, coding, teaching coding online using learning experience design strategies. That's on June 12th with our Tagpros pioneer, Leia Abarentos. Of course, she will be partnered by Miss Joyce Zerda, art and augmented reality integration. So we're focusing again on creative aspect here, but with technology. So if you're interested with AR or augmented reality and art integration, please join us on June 12th. That's our Independence Day, so I'm pretty sure you'll have time. On the next, the third Saturday of June, let's look at our next speaker. For our next speaker, let me see if we can pull them up also. All right, so there. For June, on the third Saturday, that's June 19. So coding, so using online simulation tools to learn computer and programming. So we're focusing also on robotics. So for those who are interested, robotics is one thing that we want to continue advocating also. And of course, together with Dominic Sales is Nico Foss. So Nico Foss, our next speaker on June 19, will be also discussing about Filipino. So how do we teach Filipino language and literature online? So ang pagganyak kung masarap, that's aralin. Motivasyon sa pagtuturo ng Filipino online, that's Nico Foss. And then on the last Saturday of June, we will have Miss Giselle Salvador. She'll be focusing on creativity in the virtual classroom. So if you've noticed, we're really pushing for creativity, robotics, and everything. Miss Salvador will be focusing again on arts and other aspect of creativity in the classroom. And then together with Giselle Salvador is Ivy Enaje. Ivy Enaje is focusing on teaching high school students on Filipino. So her aptly titled Gulat Mulat sa Filipino. That's under Ivy Enaje for on the last Saturday of June. So there, thank you so much for being with us. We hope that you continue. So for those who said that they have registered, there's a question, will they qualify if they registered and not do the evaluation form? No, because the evaluation form is our only way, is our way for us to know that you have actually watched and joined our participants. Some people are asking again, where is the evaluation link? Here on the screen, it shows check the evaluation form, www.tagpros.org. So if you, let's see if they can show this the website also. Yeah, so check the evaluation form. It's already there, tagpros.org. All right. So there, thank you so much, everyone. This brings us to the end of our part 1. And yeah, very long conversation. We have two amazing speakers, John Paul Viernes and Luis. And thank you so much for being here with us. Again, thank you to our partners. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to the technical team working with me, Santi, Erica, Matthew, and Jason. Shout out to the all staff of Tagpros. And thank you so much. So look at our screen. That's the website that you will be able to see when you go at tagpros.org, and the header says evaluation form. So there, thank you so much for being here with us. We continue to pray for everyone's safety. We continue to pray for more vaccine. We continue to pray for the safety of all educators and teachers in the Philippines and around the world, and of course, our family. So we hope that you learned much from us, from our speakers, and we hope to see you next Saturday. Thank you, everyone. And for those who want to know more about Tagpros, please watch our Tagpros company video after this session. Thank you, everyone.